It is now my honor to introduce the founding visionary of this wonderful institution, Rabbi Yitz Greenberg.
So Blue and I are deeply grateful for this evening, for SAR, and for all the love, respect, and honor with which we've been showered, not just tonight, but all through the years. But truly the lion's share of this honor goes to the founders, led by Ludi and Erica Jesselson and Edmund Lang, Zichronam Livracha, and Tibadel L'Chaim, Lucy Lang, and a host of others, many of whom are no longer in our midst, but whose contributions and personal models are unforgettable. And Blue and I are grateful to Hashem to be alive at this 50th anniversary celebration, to acknowledge your gratitude on their behalf. SAR Academy is the outcome of a classic Jewish paradigm of rebuilding and renewal. The Jewish neighborhoods of the Bronx were disintegrating while Riverdale was developing, and Rabbi Jack Sable, Zichrono Livracha, founded Riverdale Hebrew Day School. But the Salanter and Akiba schools were shrinking rapidly and were considering moving to Riverdale to save themselves from collapsing, but with little hope for success. And as true statesmen, Ludi and Edmund said, we must do what's good for the whole Jewish community, not just for our little school. We should try to help those schools and save what we can by merging with them and making one school in Riverdale. And there were many difficulties to overcome. They weren't easy negotiations. And to win them over at the end, Edmund gave the presidency of the United School to Ted Einstein of Akiba, while Ludi gave the chairmanship of the executive committee to Joseph Kahn of Salanter, even though the two of them knew that they would have to be the main funders and the main activists for the school. And of course, they gave them priority in the name, hence Salanter Akiva Riverdale School Academy. Now, to maximize the advantage and the value of the merger, it was decided to create a new school from scratch. An ideal religious school, that was our dream, an ideal religious school based on the core principle of the whole Torah, that the human being is created b'tselem Elokim. Every human being, irrespective of race, religion, gender, descent, bank account, is wondrous, godlike, that is, an image of God. And the Mishnah in Sanhedrin 37a defines b'tselem Elokim. By dint of being an image of God, every person is born with three inalienable dignities. Infinite value. That's why saving one life is an infinity, is equivalent to saving a whole world with billions of infinities. Every b'tselem Elokim is equal. Every image of God is equal to every other and should be treated accordingly. And uniqueness, every person, each person is special and should be listened to, should be educated, should be treated accordingly. So that was our dream, to create a school that would treat each child as an image of God. And we asked ourselves, can we find teachers so loving, so talented, that they would bring out the uniqueness of each child, stimulate their creativity, nurture their capacity for kindness and for relationship? And we said it should be a school with cutting-edge techniques that would honor and uphold that principle of b'tselem Elokim. In fact, after a parents' meeting for our daughter Deborah's preschool, the head mistress of that school had returned from a sabbatical, spent studying, and she reported on her study of the open school movement in England. So Blue came home with this idea of a school with no walls. She said it breaks up the rigid classroom. It allows the kids to sit on the floor in small groups. It allows them to do their own research in the library, to get up and run around if they need a release, to go to the bathroom without raising your hands. I'd like to tell one more story about that open school and that magnificent building we have, because we appreciate our founders. The building committee commissioned an architect, and they began to develop plans. They spent quite a bit of money already, and they came in with a plan that was really nondescript, mediocre. I'm not sure how to describe it. My first reaction when I saw it was, that'd be great for a factory. And I was already heartbroken. I didn't know what to do. And Blue said to me, go to Liddy and Erica. Erica, particularly, as you know, had this tremendous interest in the aesthetic and the art of the school. And I went to them and I showed them the plans. I said, is this the building you want for your school? And he thought for a minute, and then Liddy said, look, go out and get another architect. I'll take care of these costs. The chairman of the building committee complained to me, he said, over $100,000, he wasn't going to back out anymore. He said, I'll take care of it. You go ahead and get another architect. And as you all know, that second architect, they not only put it on the hill so it would see and face that beautiful river, but they, of course, created and saved the green space. As you may know, the building, in fact, won the Urban and Architecture Award that year when it was opened for New York City. The rest is history. We dreamed that SAR would exemplify the spirit of a modern Orthodox religious school. That meant a commitment to the highest quality of secular education and a positive relationship, I would say loving relationship, with American culture. It also meant a deep commitment to Zionism, due to the centrality of Israel to our people and the deep attachment to the land of Israel in our Torah. And to this day, as you saw, SAR has this high rate of gap year Israel study, of lone soldier volunteers, of graduates who live in Israel. And each of our principals has taught by example, by making Aliyah. So to define our religious values, we made 4 commitments from the beginning. One, that mitzvot ben adam lachavero, ethics, would be as central as ritual observance as they are together in the Torah. Secondly, that chesed, act of loving kindness, whether it's visiting the Hebrew home for the aged, or packing packages for soldiers, or volunteering for soup kitchens. This would be a core practice. And thirdly, that arts, music, drama, and student creativity would be nurtured and treasured as part of a whole person, and to express Yahadut, Judaism's joyful embrace of life. And that's one of the most beautiful things about SAR, is a place of joy. And our kids love to go there. And finally, we committed to equal education. And that included advanced Gemara learning for girls. By the way, that was one of the toughest part of the negotiations. And decades later, SAR has pioneered in women teaching Talmud and serving as principals of Limudei Kodesh. So I want to say that we are eternally grateful to Jack and Giddy Benheim and to Lou Bravman and all the dedicated lay leaders who have, I wish I could say all the names that deserve it, who have led SAR to greatness, even as they steadfastly upheld and nurtured these core principles for 50 years now. You have kept SAR on the path of excellence during a time when many modern Orthodox institutions retreated to closed minds, or built walls between us and other kinds of Jews, or yielded to narrower definitions of what's a legitimate religious role for a woman. Now, I want to say personally, it's easier to conceptualize a school like SAR than it is to realize it. And tonight, all of us joyfully acknowledge the amazing people who actually brought SAR into being, our principals, and the extraordinary faculty they recruited and trained. And Rabbi Sheldon Schwartz, Zichrono Livracha, and his successors created this culture. They partnered with teachers to enable rather than lecture, to treat students as equals, as unique, to recognize and help them develop at their own pace. And Rabbi Schwartz showed a living example of discipline based on kindness and respect. And he famously said every year, the students come in with a love for learning and great curiosity and desire to create. Let's not kill it. His amazing successors, Yonah Fuld, Joel Cohn, Benny Krause, kept the magic growing. And each has made a towering and unique contribution. And after them, Tully Hartstar created a high school with a grand conversation and student creativity and initiative and chesed and Zionism and learning and truth. And we are equally grateful to all the associate principals. Again, I wish I could list them all, but starting with Audrey Shergan, Zichronah Livracha, and Millie Rosner and Marsha Jacobowitz, and too many others to mention, but they're listed in your brochure. All together have created a school that's a joy to attend, that students come back to visit year after year for decades, or send their own children. And it's beautiful that there are so many of you here tonight. Equally astonishing is that our faculty is so dedicated, so loving, so creative, so self-renewing, that these many forms of excellence have continued. Thousands of children have been treated and educated and have become true images of God, devoted Jews, ethical Americans, responsible adults. Now, for all of this excellence, I also must acknowledge a tragic failure. This year, an investigation showed that 4 decades ago, we had a faculty member who abused students. He was not prevented from acting, and although he was sent away, he was not held accountable for his actions. We failed to protect those students, and we feel that pain. We feel their pain. This is a sin for which there is no forgiveness, and even if thousands more were treated right, this is no consolation. Each child is of infinite value, so this is an infinite failure. We have taken strong steps to ensure this will never happen again, and we will keep this painful memory before us constantly to spur us to love more deeply, to nurture more richly, to embrace life more fully for every student at SAR today and tomorrow. So allow me a personal note of closing. Among the many projects that Blue and I have undertaken in our lives, no project has given us such spiritual reward and unalloyed nachas as SAR. In no other case was the work overwhelmingly done for us and for our benefit by so many other people, and with total devotion and talent. Of course, the greatest reward was that our children, including David and Goody, who came in from Israel to be here tonight, all our children, and then our grandchildren were educated, nurtured, and inspired by SAR. And it's our great joy that our daughter Deborah is active in the school now, representing our family values in action in the school. And of course, we can never forget and can never repay the loving dedication of the SAR High School to the memory of our son JJ, Zichronah Livracha. So know that our hearts are full of love and respect and honor for all of you, to all of you whose tireless work, giving, participation has made SAR a magical mishkan, a sanctuary of life, learning, community, and growth that it is. Going forward, this is our bracha and this is our prayer. May it be Hashem's will that the Shekhinah be present in the fruit of your work. May the sweet graciousness of Hashem rest upon us, and may Hashem establish and uphold the work of our hands now and forever. Thank you.